something to grab your conscience. You don't need more purses.
He has to pay for you on everyday
You
giving.
high fashion, I can give you passion with it. You need more love. Hey, can I give you that? You looking for yourself. Hey, can I help with that? Treat you like my business and I always take my time with that. Can we walk like Christ and Mary? Don't want you to be jealous. Excuse my lingo, don't be jealous. Love you like Christ, that's so unselfish. I'm so unselfish, I'm so. We had conversations and we talk about life. You tell me all your goals and I tell you mine.
What's up, DB?
Nothing's coming good without a sacrifice. You looking for heaven, well, listen, Russian. We ain't doing no Russian.
What's up? Let me get on IG real quick. What's up, Anthem Fox?
To grab your conscience, you don't need more purses, but you need more God. You want high fashion, I can give you passion with it. You need more love. Hey, can I give you that? You looking for yourself. Hey, can I help with that? Treat you like my business and I always take my time with that. Can we walk like Christ and Mary? Don't want you to be jealous. Excuse my lingo, don't be jealous. Love you like Christ, that's so unselfish. I'm so unselfish, I'm so.
What's up, y'all? What's up?
We had conversations and we talk about life. You tell me all your goals and I tell you mine. Nothing's coming good without a sacrifice. You looking for heaven, well, listen, Russian. We ain't doing no Russian. We on beat like percussions. Don't argue and no.
What's up, y'all? What's up?
That's what the kingdom doing for you. Put God
I'm just letting folks come on.
He can truly change the mood for you. He'll always come through for you. That's a promise.
I got it, Navi. What's up?
I'm confident in him. You can tell us a change in yourself when you be around me.
What's up? She's just a regular girl. What's up?
Glad you found us. Russian, we ain't doing no Russian. We on beat like percussions. No arguing, no fussing. This what the kingdom do for you.
Thank you, Jahan. Oh, thank you so much. Goodness. Super chat. Thank you. What's up, Bree? This song, so y'all know what this is. The song is by the artist's name is Filmed on Zion. And this song is called Transition.
Put your trust in your hope in him. He will not lead you astray. For you every day, babe, I pray. And you need something to grab your conscience.
This artist's name is Filmed on Zion.
But you need more, God. You want high fashion. I can give you passion with it. You need more love. Hey, can I give you that? You looking for yourself. Hey, can I help with that? Treat you like my business and I always take my time with that. Can we walk like Christ and Mary? Don't want you to be.
What's up, Mika? What's up, Crystal? What's up, Bonifay, man? That song be riding out, man. But anyway, thank you so much, Jahan, for the super duper sticker. First, I want to say that I thank y'all for rocking with me. I really do. And I thank y'all for supporting me. Y'all have been supporting me since day one. And I really appreciate it. I thank y'all so much for doing that. I really do. Today I want to talk about Proverbs 31. A Proverbs 31 woman. Hold on one second, IG. Okay, I'm back on IG. So basically, I want to talk about a Proverbs 31 woman. I hear women talking about being a Proverbs 31 woman, but I never hear women articulating the steps to becoming a Proverbs 31 woman. Most women actually don't do the work to make these claims. And I called you too, Lenny, just for the record. You probably saw I thought it was a business phone number, but that was my number that called. But most women don't actually do the work to make these grandiose claims. Usually women go through a life situation and they tell themselves that because they went through this, it prepared them for life. And I'm gonna tell you this right now, nobody's doing this stuff on accident. Thank you, Lenny B, for the super sticker. Thank you so much. So it has to be intentional. That means you don't just get thrusted into something or you put yourself in something and you become, that's not how that works. You become better. No. It has to be intentional. The work has to be intentional to yield God's results from it. So a lot of women go through heartache and pain and hardships, but they think that qualifies them to get on platforms and speak, and it doesn't. So I'm gonna be highlighting some women who would say they were Proverbs 31 women, and we're actually gonna go through Proverbs 31 to actually see, yes, Lenny B, yes, to actually see what a Proverbs 31 woman is and how would a woman become that? Because the question is, how do we apply this to real life? I know on my journey, I've learned that it has to be intentional. You got to do this thing on purpose. So you have to, if you want to be a Proverbs 31 woman, you got to stay out on a mission to be a Proverbs 31 woman. Thank you for the super sticker, Bree. You got to be a Proverbs 31 woman, but it's a journey to do that. It means it doesn't happen, meaning you're not going to be out in the streets in March and then you Proverbs 31 in April. It's not how that works. I can guarantee you it's not how that works. It is a journey. It's a lifelong journey. It takes dedication. It's going to take some solitude. It's going to take some time being alone, sitting at home, sitting down. It's for all the women, sitting down. Rico, just go to the little picture icon. When you go live, it's the little picture icon above the mic. It goes picture, mic, camera, reverse camera, then add a sticker or filter, whatever. You click on that picture icon and they give you options for background or video. But we got to first determine what a Proverbs 31 woman is, and then we also got to determine, are we spewing out God's message or are we spewing out the world's message? I'm going to let you all hear this guy right here talking about, well, I'll let y'all listen to him. Now, my sister sent me this, and she didn't like my response on this. We disagreed on this video, but I'm going to tell you why I disagreed on it. Here we go.
Has to pay for you on every day. You've got to understand something. Society and darkness has a plan, and that is for men to become more like women and women to become more like men. So traditional values are being looked upon as bad. It's not about if you can pay or not. It's about allowing a man to fully be able to provide for you, not just physically and financially, but also emotionally, spiritually, and sexually. Because if you can't do all of those things, your heart knows, and eventually your soul will tell you, you will lose respect for him. And when you lose respect for him, you will lose connection for him. And when you lose connection for him, your body will not be able to open and receive him. And that's when the sexual relationship goes away. Set your standards right now, because your heart already knows what it needs to feel completely safe in his presence. He has to pay for you on every date. You've got to understand something. Society and darkness has a plan, and that is for men to become more like women and women to become more like men. So traditional values are being looked upon as bad. It's not about if you can pay or not. It's about allowing a man to fully be able to provide for you, not just physically and financially, but also emotionally, spiritually, and sexually. Because if you can't do all of those things, your heart knows, and eventually your soul will tell you, you will lose respect for him. And when you lose respect for him, you will lose connection for him. And when you lose connection for him, your body will not be able to open and receive him. And that's when the sexual relationship goes away. Set your standards right now, because your heart already knows what it needs to feel completely safe in his presence.
What's up, The Ice, Cold Wolf? What's up, Baby for Life? What's up, Baptized? So, as this guy so eloquently stated, is that the man should pay for everything. The man should pay for every date, right? Now, let's say next year they get rid of money. No more money. So, does that mean the man has to go out and hunt every day? Does that mean that the man has to go out and hunt every day? So if he hunts, are you willing to go out there and gather and farm every day? The problem with these scenarios is that it's not godly. It's not godly to give absolutes, because God gives a choice. We live in a free world with a free will. So God, this is a free will experiment. So I'm trying to understand, if we're giving a man an absolute that the man pays for everything, then what does the woman have to do every time? If the man pays for every date 100% of the time, what does the woman have to do 100% of the time? Because it's a two-way street. It's a allow him to pay, but what is she going to do? Because allowing him to pay is the easy part. That's easy. It's easy to let somebody pay for you. What is she going to do at 100% clip? Thank you for the super sticker, Dead or Alive. Thank you so much. He said, Happy Thanksgiving and thank you. Katie said, you already know I'm planting seeds and picking food. So my question is, he's saying a man should pay for every date. He's saying this is how you keep traditional roles alive. Well, traditionally, the woman's father would pay, right? The woman's father would pay the man to take the daughter. That's traditional. If you really want to get traditional, the woman's father would pay. He would pay. Take this, take my daughter. I'm going to give you this to take her. He would pay. Because back in the day, the daughter couldn't leave the house till she got married. So traditionally, this is not how it goes. Because traditionally, people didn't date. Traditionally, you met somebody, they met you, y'all decided to get married. It wasn't social media. It wasn't all these distractions. It wasn't none of this stuff going on. So the stuff happened quite quickly. So what I'm saying is, what he's talking about is a worldly concept, because he's comparing it to what the world wants. I don't care what the world wants. I don't care what the world is doing. Telling me I got to pay for something every time is to also say my wife has to do something every time. So my question is, what woman is cool with having an absolute from their husband? When I say absolute, I don't mean wash the dishes. I mean something that's going to be something you got to give up. How many of you want an absolute, meaning you got to do it 100% of the time? There's no grace in that. There's no grace in a man paying for every day. I wouldn't even want somebody to pay for me 100% of the time. I wouldn't even feel right doing it. Forget gender roles. I wouldn't feel right doing it as a person. Thank you, BC, for the super sticker. The Bible says that we ought to become one flesh. So my money is her money is my money. My body is her body is my body. That's how you become one flesh. So this is why God wants you to preserve yourself for marriage, because your body is not really your body. Your body belongs to God until it belongs to your wife or your husband. Your body belongs to God until it belongs to your wife or to your husband. So you shouldn't be out here in these streets running around because this is your wife. So I realized, I said, wait a minute. I want to present my wife with a gift. At least I can say, well, I've been out the game this long. Right now I can say I've been out the game 2 years. Okay, I can say, if I get married tomorrow, I can say, well, listen, I've been out these streets for 2 years. I ain't did nothing for 2 years. Not a kiss, not a nothing. I ain't did nothing. But to me, his principles aren't based on the word, scripture. We supposed to become one flesh. We supposed to become one flesh. Yeah, the dowry. You know the dowry had to be paid. We know that. The dowry had to be paid, yes. But my point is, my point today is to talk about Proverbs 31 woman. And I think Bree said it earlier. She said that a Proverbs 31 woman, okay, here it goes. She says the path to being a Proverbs 31 woman is submission to God. And that happens to being in his presence continuously. So when I was thinking about this, I thought about that very same thing last night in the shower. I thought about, is the woman seeking God every day, all day? Is she putting her own wants and desires behind what God wants? I asked this same question to myself. I said, what type of life is she living when nobody's around? What type of woman is she when nobody's looking? Well, listen, Coach Chris, 6 years is an awesome achievement. I mean, 6 years is awesome. You know, I gotta commend you, because 2 years ain't 6 years. So I don't know what it'd be like in 6 years. I've been seeing a lot of videos of monkeys masturbating. So apparently the monkeys need it too. So I don't know, but it takes some discipline. It takes discipline. But with social media, we have a lot of women out there talking. And a lot of women out there talking, and they're really giving their spiel on the mindset of a lot of these women. And let me just read Proverbs 31. Because, you know, my theories on women are that most women date foolish men. Most women. And most women date foolish men because most men are foolish. Most women's qualifiers for men are characteristics. They're not really based in character. Most women get the character part down maybe after they have a few children or something has to happen for them to see that. But most women initially go after characteristics, not the character of the man. So most women date foolish men because most men are foolish. And the Bible talks about there's only two types of men. There's wise men or prudent men, and there's foolish men. That's it. Two types of men in the Bible. That is wise and prudent and foolish. There's no in between. Most women will take a guy that's wise on Monday and foolish on Saturday. This is what most women do. So most women date foolish men. When I talk to women, I can tell within 2 minutes whether you've entertained foolish men. I can tell. I can tell when a woman is talking to a wise man or when she's talking to, I can tell. And a wise man can tell. And a prudent man can tell. If I can tell, then a wise man can tell and a prudent man can tell. But my point is that most women date foolish men. So most women condition themselves mentally, spiritually, and physically to be with foolish men. The problem is when a wise man comes around, or a real man comes around, or a prudent man comes around, or even a king comes around, now everything you've built up is going to be presented to him at that very moment. That's why I tell people don't date. Don't even go out there and get the scars. A lot of women go out there and get Purple Hearts from dating. I hear horror stories. I hear absolute horror stories, and these women have multiple horror stories. I'm like, how is it possible for you to, this guy you talking about, this dude was this, and this dude was this guy gave you something, this guy was married, this dude was hiding children, this dude, how? So what women do is women say, oh, it's all, ain't no good men out here. But the ain't no good men out here takes away accountability from the woman and takes them off the path. This is why I always ask, what is the pathway to becoming a Proverbs 31 woman? I've yet to find a woman articulate to me the steps to becoming a Proverbs 31 woman, but let's read. Proverbs 31, verse 1. The words of King Lemuel, the prophecy that his mother taught him. Now his mama taught him this. What, my son? And what? The son of my womb? And what? The son of my vows? Give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings. So basically, don't be no simp. Do not give your strength to a woman means don't be no dummy. Be disciplined. Be disciplined. It is not for kings, O Lemuel. It is not for kings to drink wine, nor the princes strong drink, lest they drink and forget the law and pervert the judgment of any of the afflicted. So now she's saying not to drink the wine and don't drink the strong drink. This is mama now. Give strong drink unto him that is ready to perish, and wine unto those that be of heavy hearts. Now this is wisdom from, now listen, already this is what a Proverbs 31 woman should be able to do. This is speak wisdom. How do you speak wisdom? You speak wisdom by doing what? By asking God for wisdom, spending time with God, and applying the wisdom that you learned. Application. So that means for a woman to speak wisdom, she has to go sit down somewhere. She needs to sit down. And when I say sit down, I mean literally sit down in the house, sit down, stop running around. Lynn B said, I'm blessed. My husband was patient with me. I was brainwashed by feminism. A Goddess Navi says, I have a total of 11 and a half years and is on my second run, coming to 6 years soon. It's a must out here in the dangerous times we're in. There's a lot of effeminate, immature males out here. Yes. So I tell women all the time to guard your womb. If your womb is sacred, your womb gives life, it should be taken as a serious thing. You shouldn't be sleeping with everybody. Again, sit down. But the first part of being a Proverbs 31 woman is to be able to speak wisdom. How do you be able to speak wisdom? Is you spending time with God. And then you spending time with God, God giving you wisdom, and then you apply it. If you don't do this, a man can tell when you open your mouth whether you're speaking wisdom or not. It's not going to be difficult. I know some of y'all be talking, thinking y'all sounding good, but trust me, he can see right through it. It's always character over characteristics. That's right. Sit down at home and read some scriptures. Right. Sit down. A lot of women just be running around doing this, doing that. Sit down. I'm telling you, when women speak, most women speak chaos. And when I say chaos, they speak in circles. They're talking about this over here. It's like this thing starts spiraling and spinning. This thing. So she done went from talking about her hair, talking about her ex-boyfriend, talking about this dude she liked, talking about this. It just starts spinning. 50 things going on. Sit down, be calm, relax, so you can hear from God. Another video. Let's go.
or a man who started a company. That doesn't make him high value. But a man who lives with conviction, who's resourceful, who's God-fearing, who knows he has a purpose. A man who loves his wife like Christ loved the church. A man who will do absolutely anything to provide for his children and put food on the table. That is a high-value man. And they're going to require from us to lean in on this radical imbalance of their time, because they should not be up under us all day. They need to be focused on how to improve their performance, of how to execute at a high level, how to get things done. And when Don and I got married, we embarked on a lifelong partnership together. Partnership is the ability to agree and cooperate to advance our mutual interest. Our mutual interests are our family, our legacy, and the people in which we serve. And I remember when I first started my company, after a few months, I met Don. And
now, I don't know this woman. I don't know this woman. But it sounds too good. I don't know this woman, but it sounds too good. Because I know when you're really doing it, it don't sound as good. It don't smell as sweet. It don't look as good. Because it's a daily task. Because you're challenging yourself every single day. So when I hear people talking, I can just tell by the lightness of the voice that the work ain't really being, I don't know her. What she's saying sounds good, but I don't hear the application really being applied. And I really got to see the husband to get a full determination. I got to see him. For this all to make sense for me, I got to see him. This woman has a 1.1 million followers on IG. But I can almost guarantee that what she's saying ain't applied. Because I know what it takes. It's an everyday, painstaking, internal journey that's constant. Because you're constantly listening to God. You're constantly trying to improve yourself. You're being unselfish. All the stuff she's saying, look what it requires. It requires for a woman to be unselfish, understanding, patient, willing to listen, submissive. These are all the things that don't get taught to women. So I ask, who is teaching women all this great stuff? Who is teaching women to be humble? Who is teaching women to be submissive? Who is teaching women to know what man is fit to lead and what man isn't? Who is teaching women to value their temple, value their body? Who is teaching women this? Because all I hear is women on platforms talking this great thing, but the results in the real world are tragic. I don't know who she is, but based on what she's saying, I'd venture to say what she's saying ain't really true. And when I say it ain't true, it's not really being applied. I got to see the husband for this to make sense. Because I know what I encounter when I'm talking to these women, and I don't hear none of this. I'm talking about the smart women, the educated women, the good women. All of them still sound crazy. All of them. So I'm trying to figure out, she's so pleasantly saying this. Y'all ever seen somebody that's really sold out for the Lord? Somebody that's really like sold out for the Lord. Like they look. I remember a lady that on my grandmother's street on 17th Avenue back home. Her name was Miss Jones. Miss Jones was, everything was about God. Everything. Beautiful, beautiful woman. Her son in and out of prison. But beautiful, beautiful woman. Beautiful spirit. But she was so into the word. She was so into the church, everything. I mean, godly woman. I'd say godly woman. But how she looked, though. She looked like James Brown. She looked like James Brown. Because when you on that journey, it's taxing. I don't care what Hollywood and the movies say. When you on this walk, it's an everyday journey. And you gotta build yourself up to enjoy the journey, to enjoy what you're going through. But Sister Joan looked just like James Brown. I'm not exaggerating. She looked just like James Brown. Beautiful woman though. But that's what it looks like though. When you totally sold out to God, that's what it looked like. But what I'm really saying is, you got to get to the point where you actually enjoy the journey. You enjoy the struggle. You enjoy the growth. You enjoy these things. You count it all as joy. That's how you get your youth back. That's how you start looking vibrant and young, because you enjoy it. I count it all joy. That's what the old folks said back when I was growing up. I count it all joy, the good and the bad. Paul said, I know how to be abased. I know how to be abound. I know how to be content with or without. I can't be moved. I'm the same all the time. Most women have a very serious problem with a consistent man. When I say consistent man, I mean a consistent, righteous, God-fearing man. Most women don't like that because they don't have any leverage over that guy. If he don't want to sleep with him, he don't want to use him, he don't want to argue with him, be all chaotic, then what leverage do she have? You see, in God's system, there is no leverage. That's the beauty of it. When we come together, I don't have any leverage, you don't either. Because we've given the leverage to each other. I give her the leverage, she gives me the leverage. There is no leverage. Now, somebody said this woman on here was talking about she was dating somebody that was married. Okay, so it's not her. Okay, I hope she wasn't dating nobody that was married. I was about to say goodness. But let's continue listening. Let's continue. But she sounds good, though. Let's continue.
And somehow, I didn't really have to do much convincing, but he decided to leave his job and come work for the family. And I remember one night, it was around 8 p.m., we'd usually start heading home. And I said, honey, let's binge. Remember, at this time, it's fresh. I have this unwavering work ethic and this belief in myself that I could accomplish greatness. I just needed to work hard for it. And I said, babe, let's binge. And he's like, well, what's that? He probably thought I was crazy. I said, we stay up all night and we do not stop working until it's done. And he's like, for fun? I said, yeah, there's nothing else to do. Let's do it. He picks up his phone and he starts typing. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm ordering GoPuff. So he gets Red Bulls and snacks. We were totally prepared. And I think before we knew it, it was 5 a.m. And I looked at my husband. Our faces were deep into the computers. And I remember thinking to myself, like, that is the man that I'm going to marry. There are no words to express my love in that moment. Because in that season of our lives, he ensured he did whatever necessary to help me accomplish and reach the goals that I didn't even know that God had for me. And so now that he's building, I'm super excited every single day to find ways to serve him, to help him grow into and mature into the man I know that he can be. And of course, our life looks a little bit different now. We have children. But when he's not home or he's working late nights, my belief in him gives me comfort that, remember, he's working towards our mutual interest. And so you know how there's that saying that's like, play stupid games, win stupid prizes? Well, when you make a daily commitment to your partnership, I promise your lineage will begin experiencing access to doors your lineage has never seen.
I'm sorry. My honest opinion, it sounds like she's wearing the pants in the relationship. It sounds like she said, quit your job. She said he didn't even think about it. I'm just, listen, I don't know this woman, and I'm not saying that what she's saying is false. I'm just simply saying, based on what she's saying, it sounds like she wears the pants in the relationship. It sounds like she has a guy and she's the leader. That's what it just sounds like to me. Because she says that now that he's building, I don't know. That's the feeling I got. again, I know when you're doing it, especially these modern times, she would be looking like, probably like Chris Brown, if she was really doing it, because it's taxing. Because the world now doesn't support women being submissive. The world doesn't support women being women sacrificing. The world doesn't support women letting a man lead. The world doesn't support women knowing when to be quiet. The world doesn't support women knowing when to step back. The world don't support this. The world don't support it. So I'm just trying to figure out who is teaching these women to be such great women. You know, back in the day, it was a necessity because women knew. Now think about it. Now, in a post-apocalyptic society, all this stuff goes away. If they cut the lights off, y'all do know this got to be figured out real quick. So you're going to see these same people running their mouth. You're going to see them leaving their husband because he's weak and going to the strong men. If the lights get cut out and people want to live, watch how drastic people's actions change. This is why I tell people the person that you pick should be the person that you pick regardless. The woman that I pick is going to be the woman I pick whether we're in an apocalypse or whether we're in paradise. I want to be able to pick the same woman. I want to be able to tell her that no matter what was going on in my life, I would have always chose you. That's what I want to tell her. I don't want her to be a circumstantial thing. I don't want her to be because she's not vaccinated, or she's not jabbed up, that I'm going to pick her. Just because she didn't get the snake bite, I had a woman tell me that I had to pick her because I didn't have that many options. I told her I'll be single then. I'll just be single. Don't worry about me. I'll just be single. But I'm not picking somebody out of desperation. I'm gonna make the right choice, whether everything was going good or everything was going bad. I want to be able to pick the same person. Let's continue. Give strong drink unto him that is ready to perish, and wine unto those that be of heavy hearts. Let him drink and forget his poverty, and remember his misery no more. Open thy mouth for the dumb in the cause of all such as are appointed to destruction. This is mama talking to him. Open thy mouth for the dumb in the cause of all such as are appointed to destruction. Open thy mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and the needy. She telling her son to be a righteous man. This is a Proverbs 31 woman. This is the first step. Being able to speak wisdom. The Bible describes wisdom as a woman. You got to be able to speak wisdom to a man. His mother is telling him what to do. Open your mouth for the dumb people. You don't need to drink, but if he want to forget his sorrows, give him a drink. This is a wise woman. She said, you don't drink because you might forget the laws and your statutes. You don't drink. You let them drink. You don't drink. You speak for the dumb. You speak for the disenfranchised. You stand up for people. Be a righteous man. This is a Proverbs 31 woman. So my question is, ladies, what schools out there teaching women to be Proverbs 31 women? Because I hear that all the time. Who's teaching you? Who taught you? Who taught you sacrifice? Who taught you dedication? Who taught you to get rid of your pride and your ego? Who taught you this? Oh, somebody's saying you are absolutely correct about people filing a lawsuit against them. People trying to sue them, her and her husband? Dana Channel is a huge fraud and her man is definitely the panties wears relationship. You can listen, based on how she's talking, I can tell her husband is a simp. I can tell. Because no woman would speak about her man like that. I told him to leave his job. He didn't even think about it. I told him let's binge, and he says, what's binging? Man, listen, don't get me started, man. What's binging? So he sounds soft and dumb. What's binging? Now he's in his season of building. If he in his season of building, I bet it's a scam. If he in his season of building, I bet it is a scam. So if they're getting food, it makes sense because what she's saying just sounds too good. It sounds too good to be true. But I know the average woman out here is not going through the hard times to become no Proverbs 31 woman. I just read you 9 scriptures of Lemuel's mom giving him wisdom. This is the first indicator of a Proverbs 31 woman is her speaking wisdom. So you talking to a woman and she all over the place, she's not wise. Because when you're wise, everything is concentrated. You're focused. You know what's going on. You're assured. Come on. Come on. I got her. Here she go again. I got her again. I got her one more time. Let me tell y'all something about me. I'm from Northern California, right? I'm from where the game originated. So when I hear people talking, I can already tell whether it's game or whether I can tell. I grew up where the game originated. So what I'm telling y'all is, when I hear her speak, I feel like it's a it's a game. It ain't real. Because I know how it really sounds when it's really real. Because it's hard. It's hard for a woman to get told every day that she's wonderful and special just for being a woman and then going home and submitting to a man. It's hard for a woman to literally go against everything society is telling her, to go home to a man she probably settled to get with, and then be submissive and be humble and put away her pride. That's very difficult. I don't know very many women that can do that, nor a school that teaches it. Because the church ain't teaching it. The pastor will get up on that pulpit and say, ladies, you don't need no scrubs. And everybody start clapping. You need a good man, a God-fearing man. Everybody start clapping, cheering. Yeah, you don't need no bum. The Lord don't want you with no bum. Everybody cheering and happy. But let that pastor say, now fellas, you need you a good woman. You don't need no foot-dragging woman. You don't need no selfish boy. That he'll lose the whole congregation at that moment. Pastors don't ever talk about women in the church. They talk about men. It's for a reason. Because they know if they talk to the women like that, or the men about the women going to leave. They know it. I know it. Y'all know it. Her husband stole the idea about the taxes. They are a good act. I truly believe they are working for the system. They scam a lot of people. So, Indigo Spirit Coaching said, wisdom, because she is my friend. Wisdom is my teacher. Yes. So we're going to listen to her again.
I swear the Lord has been putting this on my heart to share with other women. If you love your husband, you desire for him to be a high value man. I mean, a man who takes pride in protecting and serving his family, who walks out those doors every single day to make sure that he has something to bring back home with no excuses. I believe that the Lord is calling us to move in position to become their most trusted advisors. To become a trusted advisor, he has to have confidence in you. That when he comes and talks to you and communicates with you, that he knows that you will speak life into him. He knows that he can trust you, that he is safe with you. I mean, have you ever seen a man with a broken spirit? I mean, but when you are a woman who covers her man in prayer, it fortifies his favor when he walks out into the world. Your words of encouragement should make him feel like Superman. He should feel invincible. We are our husband's first defense to going out there and taking on the world. We need to be a safe space of encouragement, of respect and honor. And so I need you to take a step back I need you to ask yourself, what does my husband need to hear today? All right, ladies, if you love your husband, I swear the Lord has been putting this on my
So again, I'm gonna be real with y'all right now. Ladies, if you get with a man and you can break his spirit, then you picked the wrong man. There's no way you should be able to break a man's spirit. It's impossible. He's going to hold you accountable before it ever got to that point. So if you're able to break a man's spirit, that means a lot of checks and balances weren't taking place. If you can break a man's spirit, that means he is a simp. He is a beta. He has a high concentrated soy diet. There's no way in the world you should be able to break his spirit, because he should have checked you long before that. You should have got checked. It should have been nipped in the bud immediately. There's no way that can take place. So if she's seen her husband broken, I know he's a simp. There's no woman that ever broke me ever in my life. Never in my life has a woman broke me. I had my heart broke once, but ain't a woman just broke me. Like the way she was treating me broke me down. No, that's not how that works. No. That is a soft man's plight. Because you should have checked her long before it got to that point. People say she cursed. I know, listen, I can tell she wears the pants in a relationship. I can tell. I can tell by the way she talks, she wears the pants. And I can tell he's soft. The way she's speaking, like she's almost talking about him like he's a charity case. I would have interrupted the live. I would have interrupted the live right now and said, listen, y'all, I don't know who she's talking about. It must be somebody on the side because it ain't me. I'd have interrupted that whole live. I'd have ruined that live. She had to record in the car or somewhere in the backyard or something, because I would have ruined this live. You ever seen her broken? Have you? No. I'll be like, no, she ain't seen nobody broken. Matter of fact, get off this phone. That's correct. Listen, again, fellas, it is your job to pick the right woman. It's your job to have some courage and stop falling weak for vagina. That's most men's problem, is they acquiesce to the vajayjay. That's their problem. So they put up with a whole bunch of nonsense because they want access to vagina. I say, I'm cutting the middle woman out. Forget the vagina. I'm standing on my principles. And if she don't adhere to it, then guess what? It's on to the next. To me, that's fair. I'm not going to waste your time. You ain't going to waste my time. Yeah, she calls the shots. Yeah, she sounds like she manipulation. That's right. Manipulation. Listen, I done been in situations where I remember one time, and I've tried to I've been trying to exercise grace. In my walk, I've been trying to exercise grace. I've been trying to put things in perspective. I say, okay, let me take a step back, see them where they are on their journey. Let me give them grace and all this. But how I used to be, I used to be just, I'm talking about, it wasn't even no, I remember one time I was out with a girl right now. She tells me, I want to take you out. Now, we in Atlanta, right? So, in Atlanta, I want to take you out. I said, okay, cool, she can take me out. Now, listen, I've already taken her out. Maybe twice. So the third time comes, she said, I want to take you out. So she comes by, she picks me up, and we go out to by South Lake Mall area to go out, get something to eat. I think we went to TGI Fridays maybe. And then the bill comes. We talking, great conversation, talking about the movies, this, that. Guess what? She's going to pay for the food. I was going to pay for the movie. Even though she said she's going to take me out, I was still going to pay for the movie. She's going to pay for the food. Great conversation. Everything is good. So the check comes, and she don't even look at it. I said, well, maybe the conversation's going too good. She don't want to stop conversation. So we just talking, and just 5 minutes pass, and don't look at the check. Then 10 minutes, I'm like, okay, well, the movie going to start pretty soon. We got to, So she says, oh, You're not going to pay for it? I was like, why would I pay? You say you're going to take me out. She was like, oh, no, I mean, I was going to pick you up. Now, listen now. She said I meant I was going to pick you up. I said, pick me up. I said, I got my own car. I can drive. I said, I can pick you up. I said, what? So we get in an argument at that point. Because I'm like, wait a minute. You mean to tell me you taking me out is you picking me up in your car? I said, what? So now we in a restaurant and now we going back and forth. And then she did she puts her purse on the table and say, I got money. I remember never forget, she had a Christian Dior bag. She said, I got money. I said, you got a $1,000 bag, but ain't got 20 bucks in it. You got a $1,000 bag, but you ain't got $20. I said, what we talking about? So she's like, we ain't going to movies. I said, no, we ain't going to movies. We good. I ain't paying for the movies. And I ain't paying for this. I said, I'm paying for my portion. You pay for your portion. So we in the car. Now we going from South Lake all the way back to the east side. I stayed off County Road back then. So from South Lake all the way to the east side. So it's like a little drive, maybe like 30-minute drive maybe. And we just talking, going back and forth. And this woman thought I was going to be quiet because she was driving. She thought I was going to close my mouth because she was driving. So she said, I'll put you out. I said, put me out. I said, I won't. I said, put me out then. I ain't going to stop talking. She pulled on the side of the freeway. She said, get out. I said, no problem. I was about a mile from my exit anyway. About a mile from my exit. I was good. I said, I'll walk. So she on the freeway with the hazards on. I'm walking. Now she trying to cuss me out as I'm walking. And she on the free. I'm walking on the side of the freeway. She's driving her car, looking through the window, and she cussing me out with the hazards on. I'm just walking. I'm just tuning her out. I ain't even listening to her. I'm just chilling. So eventually she calmed all the way down. She said, get in. I just kept walking. She said, okay, please get in. I looked. Make sure she wasn't crazy. I looked. She was trying to set me up. I got in the car. We was driving. She was silent. She didn't say nothing. She dropped me off. Now, we didn't go out anymore. Obviously. But when I saw her again, she told me that she respected me for that night. She said, I respect you for that. She said, because she said I was wrong. I said, thank you. And to that, and from that moment that we had, every time I saw her, we was cool. Like we was, her and her friend, we was cool ever since then, no problem. But my point is that women do these types of things. Because women do things like, I'm going to challenge him, and then if he stays around, that means he really care about me. If he puts up with my mess, that means he really care about me. A foolish man will put up with it. A wise man is not going to do it. He won't play the game with you. He will not play the game with you. But anyway, that's my put out the car story, was with her. Only time it happened, but I'm just saying. Somebody said I wouldn't have got back in the car. Listen. When people beg for mercy, that means the beef is over. I think 50 Cent said that. When people beg for mercy, that means the beef is over. Listen, she said please. I got back in the car. I wasn't really upset, but ever since then we was cool though. So I would tell anybody to stand firm on your principles and what you believe in. I remember I told her, I said, you must have thought. You know why she put me out? Because I said, you must have thought I was one of them sis. I said, I'm a gorilla, right? I started beating my chest. Listen, y'all, I was foolish. I started beating my chest and she was like, get out. I was foolish, y'all. But anyway, Proverbs 31 woman. Next video. Oh, that's funny. That is funny to me. Oh, I had some good times, y'all. I had some good times. Yeah, listen, I was beating my chest though. Like I said, you thought I was a simp? I said I'm a gorilla. I was like, boy, listen. Oh man. Oh, that's funny. Anyway, another video. Now this guy. Now this sounds genuine right here. I want y'all to hear him and hear him compared to her.
Tough. I think when you're selfish and self-centered and you in a marriage is tough. You understand what I'm saying? Like when you still about you, but you're in something that requires we, of course it's gonna be tough. So it's not that marriage in itself is tough. It's like most of us didn't get married for we. You got married because of what somebody is doing for you. But I don't think marriage is tough. I think when you're selfish and self-centered and you in a marriage is tough. You understand what I'm saying? Like when you still about you, but you're in something that requires we, of course it's gonna be tough. So it's not that marriage in itself is tough. It's like most of us didn't get married for we. You got married because of what somebody is doing for you. But I don't think marriage is tough. I think when you're selfish and self-centered and you in a marriage is tough.
You heard what this man said. All this, he beautifully eloquated. Yes, it's Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher. He beautifully said, I don't think marriage is tough. I think that when you're selfish, marriage is tough. All these folks talking about marriage is work and all this stuff, you know why? Because most people get married still holding on to themselves. People will tell you, you got to still be yourself. I lost who I was. Man, listen, man. You are supposed to become one flesh. You think he's selfish? I don't think he's selfish. I think what he's saying is accurate. I think he's saying that marriage isn't tough. Marriage is tough for selfish people. Like if you're unselfish, how could marriage be tough? If both of y'all are unselfish, what would be tough about it? If she's willing to bend and I'm willing to bend, what could be tough? If I'm willing to sacrifice, she's willing to sacrifice, what could be tough? If I'm willing to put her first, she's going to put me first, what could be tough? Sound like paradise to me, sound like bliss. It's only tough when pride steps in the way, ego steps in the way, being selfish steps in the way, outside forces step in the way, letting the devil win when he attacks the marriage step in the way. That's what makes marriage tough. Y'all been friends with folks your whole life and barely had any hiccups. And y'all been friends for 30 years with no problem. But then when you get married 1 year, you want to get a divorce. It's because when you're with your friend, most folks treat their friends better than their spouse. Most folks treat their friends better than their spouse. People will cheat on their husband or their wife, but wouldn't their best friend. It's folks that would never get a best friend on their best friend. It's folks that would never consider getting another best friend over their best friend. But it's folks that would literally have that same philosophy and cheat on their husband or wife. Double-minded, duplicitous. Double-minded. Oh, thank you so much, Indigo Spirit. Thank you so much. Indigo Spirit Coaching, thank you. Super sticker. She's a relationship expert and womanhood expert. Indigo Spirit. So that's what makes marriage tough to me. I agree with him 100%. I don't think he's projecting. I just think that he's being honest. Like when you're selfish, life is hard, period. Like think about when you're selfish, it's hard to be on a team. It's hard to function at a job. So think about where being selfish affects you. It's hard to get friends. Like when you're selfish, it affects every aspect of your life before you even get married. So I couldn't imagine being married and selfish. That's like 1,000. It's magnetized magnified by 1,000 times. Asa metaphor, ace metaphor. What's that? What is ace metaphor? Thank you, Indigo Spirit Culture. Thank you so much. My badge got taken away. My badge got taken away for no reason. They never gave me, they took them away. Never gave me a reason. Okay, Instagram. I'm going to log you all off because it's about to end. I'm going to bring you right back on. And I appreciate you too, Indigo Spirit. So let's go to he's a podcaster. I think he addresses relationships from an ex-toxic male perspective. Okay. Yeah, you know, life coach women. Okay, I'm gonna check him out. Ace Metaphor. I'm gonna check him out. Well, I don't think I was. Let me say this. I don't think I was toxic, but I do think I was immature. 100%. I don't think I was toxic, but I guess if a man's immature, he's gonna end up being toxic. So I guess I was toxic. Thank you for the sticker, super sticker, sneakerhead. Thank you so much. Another Derek Jackson. Oh, well, I don't need to listen to him. If you like Derek Jackson, I don't need to listen to him. Let me see. So this next person is 6 foot goddess. And again, she's another one. When I listen to people talk, I always listen for the tie back into character. I always listen to how is what they're saying, is it founded in character? How can this be applied? Most of these folks on social media are just talking. They don't give you actual steps. I'm telling you, based on Proverbs 1, you got to be spending time with God continuously. That's the first step. So that means you got to be still, stop whipping and running, cut your phone off, stop trying to date, get off them social media apps trying to date, sit down somewhere and get your relationship right with God. That's the first step. A lot of y'all women be having these, one more thing too, right? A lot of y'all women have pets, right? Now, I'm going to say this again. Diamonds are a girl's best friend, but dogs are a man's best friend. I see most women getting a dog to replace a man or loneliness. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't have a dog. I'm just saying if a man sees that dog in the bed with you and he's a real man, he's not going to date you. Because no man's going to fight over the bed with a dog. If I'm dating you and I'm in the bed with you, the dog, well, my bad. Back in the day, if we married, the dog ain't in the bed with us. I'm not finna compete with the dog. So what women do is women say they have the dog and they put this proclamation up, my dog, basically the dog comes first. So basically if a woman has a child, it's the woman comes first, the child, then the dog. So when the man comes into a relationship, he's already fourth. And then she's going to have a career, so you're already fifth. So the man walks the situation, he's behind the woman, the child, the dog, and her career. He's already in fifth place. There's no real man that's going to do it. There's no real man that's going to do it. No man is going to compete with an animal. He's not going to deal with you. A lot of women are on social media showing these dogs in the bed with them, curled up, my little man, my best friend, and every real man is like, nope, nope, nope. Or you got a whole bunch of cats. Nope, nope. Because a man's not going to compete with an animal. He's not going to do it. Well, Pamela, he seemed a little more genuine, right? I think he is genuine. I met him he's like authentic. But what he said was profound. I believe that marriage isn't tough. Marriage is hard for selfish people. But that makes sense. Because for selfish people, life is hard. Thank you, Shonda Creamer. Thank you so much, Shonda. I'm sorry, Chandra. Sorry. Thank you for super sticker. Thank you so much. I'm not saying that you can't have a pet. I'm not saying that. I'm saying how you present your relationship with your pet is going to turn a lot with a man. I'm just telling y'all. Men ain't gonna tell y'all this. I'm telling y'all, he ain't gonna pick y'all. You got a profile pic on a dating site and you hugged up with the dog like this. Nah, it's not. I'm just telling you, it ain't gonna work. Open thy mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy. So the Proverbs 31 woman wants her man to be vocal. She wants him to lead, and she also wants him to look out for the less fortunate. So that means, ladies, your mindset got to be already thinking about being a blessing to other people. You can't be selfish. So when a man is talking to you, if he don't hear you want to bless other people, then you ain't a Proverbs 31 woman. Now, it's just ironic that Lemuel's mother is telling him all this stuff. Again, the first step to being a Proverbs 31 woman is to be able to speak wisdom. To be able to speak wisdom into a man and encourage him to be more righteous. Encourage him to be better. Encourage him to be godly. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. Who can find a virtuous woman? Let's look up the word virtuous. Having or showing high moral standards. So a virtuous woman, a Proverbs 31 woman, shows high moral standards. High. So would you all want to indulge me on what does high moral standards look like in a woman? What does high moral standards look like when it comes to a woman? Oh, that's right. No such thing as a soulmate. There is no soulmates, none of that. Soulmate is a way is a tactic used to circumvent the character process. There is no character involved in you having a soulmate. If God is involved in something, it's going to challenge your character every step of the way. A soulmate is somebody already ordained for you, picked for you, and no matter how you act, your soulmate is always there. That is BS. I would only agree with the soulmate concept is as if you cut up for a certain amount of times, you lost your soulmate. So I would believe in a soulmate if your soulmate, if you got 10 times to mess up before you met your soulmate, if you messed up 11 times, the soulmate was gone. I believe it then when there's a standard attached to it. But without a standard attached to it, I don't believe in soulmates. That's a bunch of BS. That's propaganda to make some money. That's Hollywood. That's movies. Ain't no soulmates. You got to earn everything you get, even your wife, even your husband. You got to earn everything you get, even your wife, even your husband. You have to qualify. You have to qualify. Let me read Coach Chris. She says, being modest when it comes to showing her body, raising her children with wisdom, knowing her husband is the head. That is just what I think of off the top of my head, as well as caring for others. Exactly. This is a Proverbs 31 woman. This is a virtuous woman. Everything she's naming is what? She's putting others before herself. That is a Proverbs 31 woman. That is a virtuous woman. Not talking down on people, praying about everything, seeking first the kingdom of God. This is a Proverbs 31 woman. Somebody said, unwilling to compromise her beliefs. Thank you, Chandra. In submission, the word says that a woman's soft countenance and her gentle spirit is what wins a man over. Exactly. At the end of the day, ladies, you shouldn't be submitting to a man that doesn't have a mission. Now, he got to be on a mission to get submitted to. So if the man don't have a mission, you shouldn't even be entertaining him. If a man doesn't have a mission, you shouldn't even be entertaining him. You only submit to a man that got a mission, and his mission should be from God. Okay. Real men don't even register foolishness. You have to speak truth and stand on it with grace. That goes a lot further than loud talking and being argumentative. Exactly. Again, the righteous man, the wise man, the prudent man, the real man, he's not going to entertain foolishness. He's not going to do it. Women wonder, why he ghosted me? Why didn't he call me back? I'm telling you why. Because you were foolish. Listen, I listen to people. I let people, lack of a better word, hang themselves. I listen to people and I take notes. Because when I make my decision, I already got proof. I listen intently. I take my notes. I look at actions. I watch behaviors. So when I make my decision, it's justified. It's not an emotional one. It's not spur of the moment. It's very thought out and planned because I've taken notes, done my due diligence to see this person isn't going to work well for me in the long run. I believe soulmates exist in the sense where when you find the one who checks all the boxes and you stand on the word together and choose each other, that's who is your mate when your souls are aligned. Exactly. So in other words, the soulmate, you gotta choose to be somebody's soulmate. It takes work. So when you become somebody's soulmate, a lot of work has been done before you consider their soulmate. A lot of pre-work has been done. Before they even meet you, the work has been done. He that findeth the wife findeth a good thing. That means when he finds her, she's a wife. She's already virtuous, a woman of high moral standards already. But let's listen to 6 Foot, the goddess.
Married man, is it safe to say that is it safe for him to have some hoes during marriage?
No, he shouldn't have hoes. He can have a side chick, but he can't have hoes. Yeah, hoes are dangerous.
Yeah.
Oh.
You really only get fucked with hoes when you're on the come up and you don't have nothing to lose yet.
Yeah.
Side chick she's dependable. She's trustworthy. She knows exactly what her job is.
She's not gonna your shit up.
Yeah, and
go
that's a
too
good
crazy.
side chick. Okay, some men try to make hoes side chicks. You can't do that. Because hoes will expose you, exploit you, tell your business. You can't do that. Now you have some women who are side chicks. Some women are not mentally capable of living with a man full time. Like some women will tell you, listen, I need him to give me something and go. Some women cannot live with a man, whether it be due past trauma, it could be her personality type. So those are the women normally who are ordained to be side chicks, and they going to know me and him don't got no bills together, no kids together, to strictly fun. My job is to not bicker our business private, not call him after 10 o'clock. That keep a lot of people happy and sane.
And should a woman be okay with that? I think so. A married man.
So you can already tell that she's willing to be a side chick. Now again, if you let women talk long enough, they gonna spill the beans. Because you think about it, look at the advancements women have made in society, and look where it's headed. Look at all the freedoms that women have and look what they're choosing to do with it. This is that Lilith spirit, that Eve spirit. Wanting to be like God. This is the Eve spirit. The devil went to her because she had the God complex. He went to her because she had the God complex. So 6 foot goddess is telling you, I'm willing to be a side chick. Now she has a son. So one day her son gonna see this. If the world is still standing by then. One day her son gonna see this. But she's okay with being a side chick. Now, she's giving women advice, but the foundation of who she is something on the side. That means when she looks in the mirror, she sees herself as something on the side. So a person that doesn't value themselves can't give me advice. As good looking as she is, as fine as she is, she's reduced herself to a side chick. This is why I don't put stock in looks. I don't put stock in words. I look at people's actions. That's right. So pretty, yet so foolish. She has one more. Did I put that other one on there? Let me see. I'm going to play this one. She doesn't value herself. And she doesn't value herself because she bought into a worldly ideology. She bought into a worldly ideology. She thinks what she's saying sounds good because she realizes that she's a single mother and that it's harder for her in the dating world. Because she was engaged to a guy, and they ended up breaking up. It was all together. I knew it wasn't gonna last. I can just tell. But she knows that she has a child, and she knows that when a woman has a child, her standards have to go even higher. Like think about it in this modern world when they're telling women, be free, do what you want to do, and you have a child that's looking up to you, your standards actually have to go higher. You got to have higher standards when you have a child. The plight of a single mother is tough because your standards get raised. Because guess what? You can't bring anybody around your child or your children. So she's finding out quickly, living here in Atlanta, that if I raise my standards, I'm going to limit my pool of men. Again, this is a person that's adjusting their stance based on what the world is saying. This is why it's so important for a Proverbs 31 woman to have a relationship with God. That way your standard comes from God and not the world. But she gets all these folks this advice, makes all this money, and now she's telling you, after all the games she done gave y'all women for years, now she's saying you can be the side chick. All that was, so it lets you know all this was a lie. Everything she was telling you was a lie for the summation to be, oh, you could be a side chick. Let's continue.
Are seasonal. Okay. A big problem I see, if a man is still in that phase of his life where he's getting where he need to be and he got work to do, you don't deserve a side chick. Side chicks are for hardworking, stable men. You can't afford to take your girl out to a 5-star. You can't have a side chick, and men don't understand that. What you do for one, you got to be able to do it twice. You need to have your resources, your stability. If your woman is rocking with you, even when you're still en route to where you're going, you don't get to have a side chick. Now, once you get there, she good, household good, then you've earned a side chick. But you really won't even get where you need to go if you always have a side chick, because your attention is so divided that you can't even really get there, and that can be detrimental. So not just because you're a man, you get a side chick. It's deserving, hardworking men get side chicks.
Now, when Kevin Samuels told the women, he said, if you date a high value man, you're going to run the risk of him cheating. Now, when Kevin Samuels said it, they wanted him condemned. But when she's saying it, everybody clapping. How dangerous is this message for her to get on the platform and say, when a man is married and taking care of his household, that's when he deserves a side chick? Do you know how evil and wicked that is? For when it comes time for a man to do his greatest task, that is to take a wife and have a family and lead them to the promised land, in his greatest endeavor on this earth, you mean to tell me that's when he gets to get a side chick? What kind of Satan demonic rhetoric is this? It's foolish. It's foolish. But this is what women have been doing with the platform. These are the same women talking about they're worth it. These are the same women talking about what they deserve. These are the same women. And people say she gave up. Yeah, she gave up. Because she realized that the character walk is a lot harder than being a side chick. Being a side chick is easy. And she up here telling women and men to have a shattered and fractured household. She telling women and men to break the covenant with God. This is absolute foolish and it's satanic. And she's single with a child. Now, any self-respecting man will never date her. A self-respecting man, the one guy she was with, he got up out of there. No self-respecting man is going to marry her. She knows it, I know it, and y'all know it. Because when it comes to that character walk, most folks ain't gonna do it. Most women are gonna rely on their looks and their vagina. That's most women. They're not gonna do the internal walk. That's why a lot of women that's like, they say, well, most women that I've dated that look good, most women out there that look good had ego problems. It's hard not to have an ego when you win in a championship and you never went to practice. It's hard not having an ego when you win in a championship and you never even went to practice. I ask every woman, I say, how many men have told you no? I ask all women that. How many men have told you no? Most women say none. So that means you're batting 1,000. If I went to the basketball court and I made every shot I took, do you think my ego would be out of control? If I was a quarterback and every pass I threw, I hit my target, do you think my ego would be out of control? If I was up at bat and every time I was up at bat, I hit the ball, do you think my ego would be out of control? Think about it, what I'm saying. If every time I shot the ball and went in, my ego would be out of control. So when women tell me a guy's never told them no, that lets me know their ego's out of control. That means you don't have no humility. How could you? Because subconsciously, every man wants you. If no man has told you no, then every man wants you. So I always ask women, how many men have told you no? Because you need to have encountered some men that said they wasn't buying. It don't make you a bad or lesser woman. It just puts things in perspective. Every man doesn't want me. There may be things I can work on. It just humbles you a little bit. That's why most men learn this stuff early. Because men get told no often. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. The heart of her husband does safely trust in her, so that he have no need of spoils. That means he puts his heart in her hands and he knows it's safe. He got to be able to trust the woman. So now we see that the Proverbs 31 woman is not only spending time with God continuously, She's not only speaking wisdom, she's not only encouraging the man to be righteous and be better, but she's also be able to have his heart and take care of it. This is a Proverbs 31 woman. My question is, who is teaching women this stuff? I listen to women talk and I don't hear this. Who is teaching women to be Proverbs 31 women? The heart of her husband does safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoils. He ain't got to go out there and rob or steal. He ain't got to get no side chicks. He got everything he need with that woman because she got his heart. She's taking care of it. He don't want to go nowhere. She will do him good and not evil all the days of his life. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. She will do him good and not evil. So now we see the Proverbs 31 woman, she's going to spend time with God continuously. She's going to speak wisdom. She's going to encourage her man to be his best. She's going to guard and protect his heart. And then she's also going to do good by him and not evil as long as she lives. My question is, who is teaching these women to be Proverbs 31 women? I'm asking. I know what the journey looks like for a man out here in this world trying to be righteous. I know what it looks like. And the most resistance I've gotten, the most resistance has been on this side. When I tell women I'm waiting till marriage, it's a whole different attitude. It sounds good to say, but out in this world, that ain't how it plays out. Because most women want the leverage. You see, most women want a guy to be kind of be like a righteous version of Future. You know, he can trap on Sunday after the Sabbath. You know, most women want a guy that's kind of both foolish and prudent. She wants excitement. I remember Aisha Curry said it upset her that Steph Curry didn't ever raise his voice at her. He didn't ever curse at her. He never argued with her. She didn't like that. That's what she said. Because most women want excitement. They want a thrill. They want to be able to argue and then have makeup sex. They want drama. They want chaos. But a wise man, a prudent man, he ain't going to engage. He ain't going to engage because his energy is going to be needed for something that's really going to happen. Not no fake made up stuff. The wise man got to preserve his energy for the real calamities of the world. Like what's going on now. Like what's going on now. What are y'all going to do if they cut the lights off tomorrow? Y'all seen Book of Eli, you seen Mad Max. Do you think these men are going to play with y'all if they got to face death every day? They're not going to play with you. They're not going to entertain you. If he has to face death every single day, he's not finna come home and argue with you. You can forget it. He's not going to play with you at all. If he's tasked with protecting himself and you, if he's tasked with making sure y'all survive, he is not going to take any foolishness. I'm just be honest with you. He ain't going to do it. Right, the righteous version of Young Dolph. That's what most women want. They want the bad boy to be good. They want the bad boy to be bad, but then be good to them. It's foolish. It's never going to happen. It's not going to work. Either he's going to be wise or he's going to be foolish. Either he's going to be wise or he's going to be foolish. I want excitement. I don't want boring. I want excitement. I want excitement. I don't want boring. And I honestly believe this too. When y'all listen, and my boy always says this, there's an adventure to discover who you are. There's an adventure to being like Christ. There's an adventure to embodying Christ on this earth. There's an adventure to it. There's an adventure to getting closer to God. There's an adventure to being like Christ on this earth. There's an adventure behind it. And two people on that journey is an adventure. The world is telling you that that's not fun. The world wants you to have fun, but when you seek the things of God, that's an adventure. That's something else. So I'm just telling you all that it's not going to be a boring existence because your man ain't foolish. Y'all go on an adventure. But an adventure requires what? It requires thinking. It requires preparation. You see, you got to be prepared to go on an adventure. Got to have your supplies ready. So an adventure, before y'all go on the adventure, you got to be prepared. But to have fun, you don't need nothing. To have fun, you need nothing. Just turn up. But let's continue.
Y'all be trying to throw the fact that I have 8 kids in my face like that's going to hurt my feelings. That don't hurt my feelings. Do you understand that I wanted 8 kids? Do you understand that I'm doing the see with 8 kids? Do you understand that I still do whatever I want in life with 8 kids? I wanted them. I knew what I signed up for. I knew what I was doing when I laid on my back, when I busted wide open to make them babies. What do you mean? I didn't run to no clinic. I ain't do none of that because I wanted them. You do understand that I had options and I chose to keep them and take care of them. I don't understand what's the problem, why y'all always feel the need to just talk. I busted open again. I would have had 10 if I didn't have to get C-sections. I mean, you're not hurting my feelings. You're annoying me. I'm irked. I'm irked that you're grown and you come on here and you want to talk about how many kids I have and talk about my kids like they can't read that. And y'all know I can't say nothing back. You know I can't say nothing back because you know I'm going to get flagged. So all I can do is say, I'm going to pray for you. So let me pray for you. Y'all be trying to throw the fact that I have 8 kids in my face like that's going to hurt my feelings. That don't hurt my feelings. Do you understand that I wanted 8 kids?
She has 8 children. How many baby daddies you think? I bet she got more than 2. She said, I wanted those children. Again, if you go on social media and listen to these women talking, this is what they're talking about. Worldly doctrine. Worldly, chaotic doctrine. What man in his right mind is going to date her seriously with multiple baby fathers and 8 children? What man? So her pool of men is limited. King Tabernacle said she got 7 baby daddies. She got 7 baby daddies, exactly. Right. I'm going to say this. If you cared about your children, you wouldn't have had 8. Because if you care about your children, who you have the children with is supposed to matter. So if I care about my children, I shouldn't be having children with just anybody. Because caring about the children starts before you have the children. Because you got to care about yourself first. You got to honor your own temple, then you have children. A lot of folks is having children and they damaged already. They're not healed. So you're already setting the child up for failure because you have a child and you're still hurting and haven't healed. That's going to affect your parenting. I had a cousin that had 8 kids and every last one of them had a different father. You see, that's irresponsible. And even from a guy's perspective, what was the 8th guy thinking? Like, even if if she got 8 children, she probably got some good vagina, okay? She probably had some great sex, okay? Even if that's the case, she got some great sex. If she got 7 baby daddies and she has 7 children, what in my mind would make me want to be number 8? I ain't talking about winning 8 championships. I'm talking about be the 8th baby daddy. I don't mean 8 MVPs. I don't mean 8 rings. I'm talking about being the 8th baby daddy. I don't mean $8 million. I don't mean 8 cars. I don't mean 8 houses. I don't mean 8 acres. I'm talking about the 8th baby daddy. I don't mean 8 ball in the corner pocket for the win. I'm talking about being the 8th baby daddy. What world are we living in? How did she get to 8? Prayed, read the Bible, and they were faithful, active members at the church. My father and my grandfather didn't have any outside children either. Mom and grandma were doing something right. Exactly. And, you know, listen, man, if we love each other, we're not going to cheat on each other. If we love each other, we don't want side chicks. We don't want side men if we love each other. Because part of us loving each other is honoring God through our love. Y'all do know that you honor God how you treat people. Okay, let me say it again. Most folks think they can bypass dealing with people and go straight to God. No, you're going to honor God through how you treat people. In this Bible, in this book, not the Bible, but in the Bible, you notice God, you dealing with people. God don't need your admiration, your tears, your prayers. God needs you to be righteous down here with other people. Most folks skip that lesson and focus on, no, your job is to be a light, to be salt of the earth. Proverbs 31, verse 12, she will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands. She is like the merchant's ships. She bringeth her food from afar. She rises also while it is yet She rises also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household and a portion to her maidens. So she's looking out for her house and the maid servants, looking out for everybody. She is like the merchant ships. She bring her food from afar. She rises also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household and a portion to her maidens. She considereth the field and buyeth it. With the fruit of her hand, she planteth a vineyard. This is a Proverbs. So let me get this straight. Not only is a Proverbs 31 woman seeking God constantly, speaking wisdom, encouraging her husband to be better, doing him good all the days of her life, but she's also willing to go out there and work. She's also willing to go out there and take care of the household. She's also willing to go out there and take care of even the maid servants. So in other words, what we're seeing is the Proverbs 31 woman is unselfish. She's putting everybody in front of herself. This is what the Proverbs 31 woman is. She's unselfish. Not only does she seek God continuously, but she's also unselfish, because you got to think about it. If you're seeking God continuously, you're going to be unselfish. If you're seeking God continuously, you're going to be these things. So a woman can't tell me she's a Proverbs 31 woman. I should be able to see it. I should be able to hear it. She should be able to speak wisdom. She should be able to speak life. Encourage the man to be better. Do good to him all days of her life. So most women talking about being a Proverbs 31 woman aren't, according to the scripture, because the scripture is clear on what a Proverbs 31 woman is. It's very clear. It's very detailed. She is very unselfish. She is very character driven, principle driven. She puts not only her husband before herself, but her household and everybody attached to the household before her. She looks out for everybody. So the Proverbs 31 woman in this scripture, in this chapter, is described specifically. So a woman can't just tell me she Proverbs 31. She got to show me with this right here. We got a blueprint for it. Now, I'm going to say this too. The Proverbs 31 woman is a reflection of the man. So everything that she is, the man is also this as well. Don't get it. It ain't just her doing all the work. What she is, the man is also. So it's a Proverbs 31 woman, and she's standing right next to a Proverbs 31 man. She considereth, verse 16, she considereth the field and buyeth it. With the fruit of her hands she planteth a vineyard. She girdeth her loins with strength and strengthens her arms. She's not weak. She girds her loins with truth, righteousness. She's not weak. She ain't swayed by the world. I said she ain't swayed by the world. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good. Her candle goeth not out by night. Her lamp is always lit. Her character always intact. It don't go out because it's nighttime. She ain't burnt her lamp out in the day. Her lamp is always lit. That means she's not burning herself out with foolish men and listening to foolish women. Her lamp is always lit. Character. She layeth her hands to the spindle, and her hands holdeth the distaff. She's able to create. Steady hand. Consistent. I'm giving y'all what a Proverbs 31 woman is. She's unselfish. She's consistent. She's unwavering. She's balanced. She speaks wisdom. She puts the husband first. She puts the household first. Who is teaching women to be Proverbs 31 women? Who? I don't see nothing out there talking like this for women. Not nothing. She stretches out her hand to the poor. Yea, she reaches forth her hands to the needy. So now, I said earlier that she encouraged her husband to look out for the needy and less fortunate. And as we see, she does the same thing. I told you, the Proverbs 31 woman is a mirror of the Proverbs 31 man because he picked her. So what he did was he picked the qualities of himself in a woman. She is a mirror of the man. So a woman can't tell me she a Proverbs 31 woman. She got to show me. I got to see it. Because I got a blueprint right here that says Proverbs 31 woman. And I know if I see her and she's married, I done seen her husband. I said I know if I've seen her and she's married, I've seen her husband. She is not afraid of the snow for her household. For her all her household are clothed with scarlet. Her house is taken care of. Nobody's lacking. Nobody's in need. Everybody is fulfilled. Nobody's lacking. Nobody's in need. Everybody is fulfilled. Your husband should never come to you and tell you that you ain't doing something. You should always be asking, and vice versa. He should always be asking. He should be giving an account every week. Baby, how'd I do this week? I wish couples did that. How did I do this week? Let me know. What's my grade this week, baby? And if she give you an F, then try to get an A next week. If he gives you an F, ladies, try to get an A next week. It should be a check-in evaluation every week. Y'all hold each other accountable. Where did I miss the mark this week, baby? How can I improve? Do it every week. And I guarantee in 6 months, y'all going to be on this talking about we got the perfect marriage. Do it for 6 months. Do a weekly check-in for 6 months. And I guarantee it's going to make or break your marriage. If it makes it, you're going to say we got a perfect marriage. If it breaks it, then y'all saw what the issue was. She maketh herself coverings of tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple, royalty. The Proverbs 31 woman is royalty based on her character. She's royalty. It puts her in a royal status. You know, women, when y'all have character, because you know, most women don't operate off of principle and character. They just don't. It's emotion. But ladies, you know how beautiful you are to a man when you base your life on character. Doing what's right simply because it's the right thing to do. Doing what's right simply because it's the right thing to do. It's not mainstream as woman. Oh, it's not mainstream as woman to woman. Yeah, well, the problem is the women that are talking with the platforms is speaking nonsense. They're saying they're Proverbs 31 women, but when I read this, they're not. I've only met a few women in my life personally that meet this criteria. Just a few. Her husband is known in the gates when he sitteth among the elders of the land. So her husband is known because of her. Imagine for a man, you say, oh, that's my wife. And they are impressed. Like, that's your wife? Like, they are excited. Imagine that, fellas, that your wife is making you famous. Your wife got people talking about you because of her. Proverbs 31 woman. That's the woman you want. You want the woman that demands, listen, you want the woman that is so honorable, they don't even want to sleep with her because they respect her that much. They respect her so much, they respect you. That's a virtuous woman. That's a Proverbs 31 woman. Aisha Curry said, I wish that men would slide in my DM. She was upset because men respected Steph Curry enough to not holler at her. She was upset because men respected Steph Curry enough to not holler at her. That's the woman you want. That's the woman you want. I don't believe anything a woman says anymore. I look at her actions. Listen to her comments. Exactly. I let a woman speak and I see what she's saying if it matches up in real time. That's what I do. I let her talk and I see if it match up. If it don't match up, abort mission. If it doesn't match up, abort mission. It's why I tell women, you gotta, they use debriefing in the mental, but you gotta kind of like, what's that? You gotta purge yourself. You gotta purge all them foolish men out of your system. You gotta purge all them foolish men you done dealt with out of your system. That is going to require solitude. That is going to require time alone. You got to get all them men out of your, because guess what? Most of these women, most of y'all done dated some foolish men. Y'all got, I can ask y'all right now, and y'all have several horror stories. Several. Not one, several. So what I'm saying is, you got to purge these foolish men out of your system. Same with the men. You messing with foolish, you got to sit down for a moment and get some solitude with you and God. Sit down and be still. Know that I'm God. Stop whipping and running all around this place. It doesn't work. Her husband is known in the gate, verse 23. Proverbs 31, verse 23. Her husband is known in the gates. When he sitteth among the elders of the land, she maketh fine linen and selleth it, and delivereth girdles unto the merchant. She's a businesswoman. On top of the Proverbs 31 woman, on top of her being one that seeks God continuously, one that speaks wisdom, one that encourages a man to be better, one that is unselfish, one that puts the household above herself, one that puts the community above herself, one that literally is royalty. Based on her character, she's also a businesswoman. She maketh fine linen and selleth it. She maketh fine linen and selleth it, and delivereth girdles unto the merchants. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come. Strength and honor are her clothing. That means strength and honor is what she does every single day. So much to the point that it's nothing. It's honestly like, imagine we put on clothes, right? We put on clothes every day and go outside. Like we don't even think about it. That's what this woman does. The Proverbs 31 woman wears honor and strength like it's clothing. Like it's just it's nothing. And she shall rejoice in time come. That means she not even, listen to me. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she will rejoice in time come. She is virtuous, honorable. She has strength. She's unselfish. She holds her husband's heart in her hand, and she don't even rejoice about it. She act like it's nothing. She just does it. She gonna rejoice when the time comes. But right now, I'm focused on my man and my family and my community and those in need. Tell me where they are teaching women to be like this. Tell me where they are teaching women to be like this. Because the Proverbs 31 woman is a mirror of the man. So maybe not, the women aren't being taught this because the men aren't being taught this. Maybe, just maybe, the men aren't doing this, and therefore if the men aren't doing it, then the women ain't gonna do it either. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe we going backwards. Maybe we got it all wrong. Maybe we've been approaching it the wrong way. Because the Proverbs 31 woman is a reflection of the Proverbs 31 man. That's the problem. So the problem is that all the men should be displaying this for the women to display it. Because what she's honoring that man, and she's honoring God through her service to that man. That's a Proverbs 31 woman. She honors God through her service to her husband, through her duty to her husband, to her submission to her husband. That's what the Proverbs 31 woman does. So guess what? I ain't got to hear you talking. I got to look at you and I can tell. She opened her mouth with wisdom, and her tongue is the law of kindness. So not only is she speaking wisdom, not only is she dropping jewels, not only is she spitting game, but she's also speaking it with the law of kindness. She done made kindness a law. This is the Proverbs 31 woman. She made kindness a law. What woman? Show me these women out there now. Who's teaching them? A school should be built. 2 schools. One for the men, one for the women. Proverbs 31 man, Proverbs 31 woman. Because his mother, Lemuel's mother is talking to him right now. That's a woman saying this. It's a woman saying this. I thought it was God. It's his mother telling him this. And she's telling him what he should be and also what the woman should be. Tupac might have been right when he said, I got my game from my woman. And he said, we got our name from a woman and our game from my woman. So that might be the problem. If the Bible describes wisdom as a woman, and we don't have any wise women out here, that's a problem. If the Bible describes wisdom as being feminine as a woman, if we don't have any wise women, that's going to be the problem. She opened her mouth with wisdom, and her tongue is the law of kindness. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. An idle mind is the devil's playground. So guess what this means? And eateth not the bread of idleness. She doesn't entertain the devil. A lot of women tell me they hearing from God, but I don't believe it, because Satan talks too. I know you're hearing from God when I look at your character. I know you're hearing from God when I look at your character. If you have poor character, you're not hearing from God. God ain't finna give you no prophecy and then skip over character. No, it's not how that works. You're going to have character to get the prophecy. Because once the God gives it to you, he expects you to act out on it. So once you get the prophecy, there's work to be done. Once you get the prophecy, there's work to be done. So if you tell me you're hearing from God and you ain't got no character, or you got poor character, I know you're lying. Because if God does things in order, then you got to have the character first. Verse 27, she looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. Her children arise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praiseth her. So his husband praises, he said, I got the best wife on earth. I love my wife. I'm blessed to have her. I found a good thing. I'm blessed. She's the best. What would I do without her? How about this? I don't want to do without her. Even if I could, I wouldn't do it. I don't want to do without her. I choose her. Under every circumstance, I choose her. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Many women have been virtuous, but you done went above and beyond. Because you didn't just have high moral standards. You had high character, principles, honor, kindness, love, generosity. Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord shall be praised. Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. Why shall she be praised? Because if she fears the Lord, she gonna respect the man. If she fears the Lord, she gonna honor the man. That's why she gets praised, because she's honorable. Give her of the fruits of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. Give her of the fruits of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. So that means her character not only gets the husband praised, but it gets her praise as well. Like I said, they're going to say, that's your wife? She's awesome. This type of woman is honored so highly that men don't try to cheat with her. So let's recap real quick before it goes out. The Proverbs 31 woman speaks wisdom. She encourages her man to be better. She guards his heart in her hands. She's virtuous, high character, high standards. She takes care of her household. She takes care of her community. She's able to make money. She's able to not entertain Satan. She's not weak. She's strong. Looked out for the poor. We said that. She's royalty. She carries herself like royalty. She's known by her character. She's making her husband famous through her character. She wears honor and strength like it's clothing. She lives by the law she made kindness a law. Her mouth speaks wisdom. People are blessed. blessed to be around her. Her husband is blessed and they praise her. She's an overall asset to everything she comes in contact with. That is a Proverbs 31 woman. Everything she's around becomes better. That's how I know if you are a Proverbs 31 woman. This is how we know. Everything she touches turns into gold. Everything. Thank y'all, IG. It's about to cut off. I love y'all, and I will see y'all probably either tomorrow or maybe Sunday. I love y'all. Thank y'all. I'm ending up on YouTube. So we got the brief recap. I want to recap one more time for my folks on here. Let me recap. So the recap is she speaks words of wisdom to the man. She encourages the man to be better. She encourages the man to be a leader and look out for the less fortunate. She encourages him to speak against things that are evil or wicked. She encourages him to speak for those that can't speak. She is virtuous, so virtuous that she's worth more than rubies. She's willing to work. She's willing to earn money. She's willing to bring things back to the household to make it better. She looks out for her community, even her maid servants. She, like I said, she's able to make money on her own and bring it back to the family. She's strong. She's not weak. Her light is always lit. It's never dim. She's not afraid for snow to come in the house, rough times to come in the house, because she knows everybody's clothes. She got everybody covered. This is a Proverbs 31 woman. She ain't even afraid of it snowing in the house because she got everybody covered. She's unselfish to the highest degree. She's so good and virtuous and so much character and honor that she's royalty. She made her husband famous in the city. She wears strength and honor as her clothing. She opened her mouth with wisdom, and her tongue is the law of kindness. She made kindness a law. She doesn't eat the bread of idleness. She don't entertain Satan. Her household is taken care of. Her children are raised upright. And they call her blessed. Her husband, he praising her. Even her children are saying she blessed. Her husband is praising her. Many women have said they was virtuous, but she outdid them all. Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord shall be praised, because a woman that fears God is going to be a righteous woman. Is going to be a righteous woman. Thank you, McKay, for the sticker. Give her of the fruits of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. Let her get the fruits of her labor. Let her enjoy. Look at the last thing. Look at the last thing it says. Let her enjoy the fruits of her labor. Let her get praised in the gates. She earned it. Proverbs 31 has 31 verses in it, and the last one is honorable because she earned it. She deserved to see the fruits of her labor. She deserved to be praised. This is a Proverbs 31 woman. She deserves to be praised because she is that righteous, that virtuous, that honorable. So when somebody tells you about their Proverbs 31 woman, show them this video or read the criteria out to what a Proverbs 31 woman is. That means if you are a Proverbs 31 woman, I should have no doubt. There should be no doubt in my mind when I'm talking to you that you're a Proverbs 31 woman. Because this is clear to me. What we just read is clear. This type of woman is very exceptional, almost a superhero. I would say a superhero. And as great as she is, she still puts her husband, her children, her household, her community first. This is why she should be praised. This is why she deserves praise. Because in putting God first and honoring God, she honors her husband, her children, her household, her community, the less fortunate. Listen, I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. That's right, Cole. Character matters the most. I thank y'all for coming on here, indulging me tonight. I may follow up with something else, but Proverbs 31 woman is a serious thing, and it's an honorable thing, and it's a godly thing. Honestly, a woman shouldn't even say that because it literally means you are fearing and honoring God as a lifestyle. You're fearing and honoring God as a lifestyle. So a woman shouldn't even say she's doing it unless she's doing that. It's almost blasphemous to say you're a Proverbs 31 woman and everything you do isn't that. No, thank you, McKay, for tuning in. Right. The praise and fame is within the kingdom of Christ. That's right. So when the Bible talks about being praised, you're being praised by righteous people. That's what matters. The praise only matters if the person giving the praise is righteous. Otherwise, you shouldn't even care. If a righteous person giving you praise, receive it. The world giving you praise, take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. But the Proverbs 31 woman mirrors the Proverbs 31 man. That's why in the beginning of the chapter, Lemuel's mother is giving him instructions on how to be what? A Proverbs 31 man. So even his mother knew for him to get a Proverbs 31 woman, he got to be a Proverbs 31 man. So she gave him the instruction first and then told him what to look for in the woman. So as you see, fellas, it starts with the man's leadership. So maybe we aren't seeing Proverbs 31 women out there because there ain't no Proverbs 31 men out there. That might be the problem. Maybe that's it. So we got to start working on being Proverbs 31 men, like Lemuel's mother did, which is she encouraged her son to be better, to be righteous, which is what I want to do, encourage men to be righteous. Listen, I love y'all. Thank y'all so much. And I will see you all soon. Well, I'm going to the gym, but good night to some of y'all. Thank y'all.